It is the Riots podcast, the Monday, September 25th edition, and things are back to normal around here. The fundraiser is over, but hey, if you missed out on donating, we did come up a little bit short of our goal, so we can still use your help at RadioU.com. It's not too late. But let's get down to business. Isaiah, we had some positive news, most would say, come across the wire this morning, and that is that the Writers Guild of America has reached a tentative deal with the Hollywood studios. They still have to actually vote on it as of right now, but assuming that the writers go ahead and ratify this deal, the writers in Hollywood, they can get back to working again, working together.
About time.
It is about time. It says here 154 days.
That's half a year.
Yeah, no,
right?
That was the previous recent longest strike. So it's the first large-scale strike in a long time. Yeah, about 140 some days, 146.
Yeah, that's almost half a year.
Yeah.
Which is a long time for everything to be on pause.
Mm-hmm.
Our movies paused, everything paused.
Imagine if we didn't work for a half a year. How would things change?
I'd be awful poor.
Yeah, that's for sure, which is probably why a lot of the writers have now decided to.
Yeah.
Why they maybe had more pressure to agree to a deal. Although it sounds like...
They were complaining about wage before, right?
They were complaining about wages. They complained...
They were able to work for 6 months without any money, so they must have had a good amount saved up.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how it works for the writers. You remember for the actors who are still on strike, that the big famous actors had to pay all the less famous actors. They had to have like
to keep it up.
Yeah. But it sounds like now maybe more job security for writers, some better pay. They don't have to worry about AI as much in this deal. They find some ways to push that can down the road a little bit so they can get back to writing TV and movies. To you, don't you think this is definitely, like with movies, we've hardly noticed that there's been a strike at this point, right?
We haven't right now, but I know because I'm looking at the movies that have been pushed back.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's going to be a pause area where we're not going to have a lot of good movies for a minute.
So we're going to be, you think a couple months, a year down the line from now, we're going to be like, there's no good movies.
It's looking like,
and it's going to be because of this strike?
It's looking like the back, because right now we're at the back end of 2023.
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking early 2024 is going to be kind of a dead period.
Going to be rough.
I think we'll feel the effects then. Because I'm looking at this, and some of these just feel so far away now. Especially when I look at the Marvel stuff. Because that's one of the big things that I care about, the timeline-wise.
Yeah, and a lot of those have been, they've already been delayed.
But the good thing is, I guess in the aspect of Marvel, we were all complaining there was too much.
Could this be a blessing in disguise?
It could be, because I'm looking at how everything is scaled out now, and it's all pushed back a little bit. So maybe that'll help.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's true. Even now I'm thinking Loki is about to come out, which is very exciting.
People like that a lot.
But how long has it been since I watched anything Marvel? And I don't even think I've missed anything. I mean, I have missed things, but
yeah,
it's not been like they've been releasing stuff fast and furious and I've just been like, I don't even feel like I have the time. It's just they haven't released anything for a few months, which is actually giving me time. Yeah.
This would be a good time for you to catch up a little bit.
To prepare.
Some of the things that have been pushed back that they're going to start working on yet again now. The next 3 Avatar movies. Avatar 3, 4, and 5. But listen how far away these sound now. Ready? Avatar 3, 2025. Not that far. Avatar 4, 2029. That's a big jump.
Oh my God.
Avatar 5, 2031.
2031.
That's far away. It's 2023. That's 8 years from now.
We'll be completely different people.
I'm going to be 34, 33.
Think about how many children you'll have by then.
Hopefully 0. We also have Avengers, the Kang Dynasty. 2026. By 2026, who the heck is going to be Kang? We don't even know yet.
We don't even know that for next week.
Avengers Secret Wars 2027. So the 2 Avengers movies both got pushed back a little bit. The Batman Part 2, Filming postponed until 2024.
Oh, now that's tough.
They haven't even started that up yet.
That's tough.
They haven't even started filming for that yet. Captain America Brave New World. That's premiere pushed to July of 2024. So far, that's like the next
massive release.
You'd
Unless you
think so.
count the Marvels.
Yeah, that doesn't count. Fantastic Four. Premiere pushed to May of 2025. Freaky Friday 2 for Disney. Creation completely paused. There's not even a possible date for that yet.
Yeah. Now you're making the Writers Guild strike sound a little worse. And this could be a good sign. It could mean that the studios have negotiated a little bit. They're willing to come down from their initiative because it really seemed like they were the ones that were not going to budge whatsoever for the longest time. But keep in mind that the actors are still on strike, so it may be a good sign. Maybe these studios will now be willing to budge with the actors too, but maybe not. Maybe this is still it's not all over. Everything just doesn't go back to being, going full bore here now that the writer's strike is about to be over. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm looking at other ones here. Lord of the Rings, their new movie premiere pushed to December of 2024. Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse premiere delayed indefinitely. So still not sure there.
Yeah, that's unfortunate too. Because the last Spider-Verse was only a trailer for this Spider-Verse.
Yeah, exactly. And then other than that, that's everything that's on pause that matters to me.
It is frustrating. Yeah, it is difficult. It is crazy to just look at you lay all that out and think about how by the time so many of these things that seem exciting, if they came out today, it'd be exciting. But by the time they actually do get around to being made, will I even care? Will I be the same person I am now? Or will I have different interests? Will I have moved on? I know I haven't moved on particularly from Marvel for all these years, but at the same time, who knows how I would change?
Say?
Yeah, I could be way different. I could be into musical theater by then. I could be on a birding kick.
Theater.
I could be, who knows what my interests will be in 2031 when Avatar 5
comes out.
Yeah. Or maybe I'll be even more interested. I'll be on the edge of my seat like, finally, they're releasing it. I don't know.
You turn the tables on Avatar and all of a sudden you're all into it.
Yeah.
The third one will be the one. 2 years from now.
Once I have my 35th birthday, maybe.
You're back in.
Yeah, maybe that will be a realization for me that Avatar is actually good. All right. We got a good podcast coming up for you. This is the real thing. No fundraising the rest of the way.
Back to normal. Just how we like it.
The way we like it. It is the Riot.
See you guys.
Add a little Riot to your Instagram feed. Follow @RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
Over the weekend, so many great games. Let's start with the NFL. I think the top headline from the NFL is the Cardinals upsetting the Cowboys.
It's definitely one of them.
It's up there.
I don't know if it's top one, but I would say it's top two.
The Cowboys were talked about as the best team in the league after 2 weeks.
Shocker.
Now, can the best team in the league lose to the Cardinals? I think actually that's possible.
They can. Yes,
yeah,
I agree. They can.
On a bad week. But that said, they didn't just lose. The Cardinals got out to a lead and never truly looked back. The Cardinals probably a little more competitive than people give them credit for too, but
they could be 3-0 right now. I'll give them that.
That's true. They've had 3 narrow losses, or 2 narrow losses, and then this win. But I think the Cowboys, even if the Cardinals are better than everybody thinks, reflects very poorly on Dak Prescott, particularly through a bad interception there when they had a chance to win the game. So bad look for the Cowboys. How upset, how distraught you think Nene from the afternoons will be when he walks in today?
He's going to be upset. I mean, he should be embarrassed. That was an embarrassing loss.
He shouldn't even show his face around here.
I wouldn't talk NFL for a while.
But it's difficult. Do you find this with Nene that it's difficult? If we came in here and the Packers had lost and you started ragging on me, you wouldn't feel bad, right?
No.
Because but Nene, he gets so down.
He's the highest highs, the lowest lows.
Yeah, that's right.
No in between.
He becomes so obnoxious when the Cowboys get good. But he also becomes so distraught when they lose that you don't even feel okay picking at him,
I know it.
All right, so that's the NFL. Yeah, you said that's one of the top headlines. You got another NFL headline you like?
I mean, the Dolphins scored the most points since 1966.
Yeah.
They won 70-20. That was unreal. I could not believe that game.
Yeah.
Every time I checked the score, it was just more and more impressive. That was a big one.
That was a big one. Obviously impressive by the Dolphins, but do you think, too, that, like, the Broncos are just way worse than anybody imagined, and I don't want to hear any more about Sean Payton being some kind of genius.
I mean, yeah. I think he's probably a good coach. I think he's a good coach, but I think that team is not good.
No, not
I think
good
they're
at
way
all.
under. Well, everybody's a little bit too high on them. But the real headline. The Cleveland Brownies are back, baby. We're back.
Hey.
Just like that, we're back. 27-3. Best defense in the NFL. We've let up 1 touchdown in 3 games. That's incredible.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty
What is
darn
that
good.
noise
And
the singer just made?
the
You
little,
hear that?
the little- you think this is the 9th time I've played it? You think you'd know that one by now? Yeah, it was an incredible game. Deshaun Watson,
ridiculous behavior.
if you're wondering, looked fantastic. 27-33.
Yeah.
289 yards, 2 touchdowns. We're back. If the Bengals lose tonight, good night, Cincinnati. I mean,
Yeah,
the whole
it's
division's 2-1. You guys would be 0-3. It's a must-win, and Joey B might not even play.
You more excited about the other football we're running out of time, is Ohio State's last-second win over Notre Dame. Which is more exciting to you, the Browns or the Buckeyes?
It's hard to say. Ohio State's last second win, that was an epic game. Ohio State hasn't had to win at the last second in a very, very long time. Like, we haven't had, like, a literal last second win like that. I said on Friday that if we won...
second loss recently.
I said on Friday that if we beat a top 10 team, I mean, obviously every Ohio State fan is going to work this morning. This is like a regular Monday. If Maryland had won that game, this would be the greatest Monday of all time. If any other team except for Ohio State had won that game, it would be the greatest Monday of all time. But even in the last second win against a top 10 team, people are still going to wake up today upset as an Ohio State fan.
I think as you should. You think you're going to beat Michigan and Penn State looking like that? Scoring 17 points?
You can't say, looking like that. If Alabama and Georgia played on Saturday and they both looked terrible, but somebody won, they would be like, well, you're playing Alabama. Of course they're going to look terrible. When you play tough teams, you don't always look great. But guess what? We won. We won once again. I'm sorry, Notre Dame. You can try again another year.
Yeah, their coaching staff threw up all over themselves.
I mean, Kyle McCord, he made a pretty fantastic throw at the end of the game to put us on the 1-yard line to win it. To win it! We stay undefeated. Everybody was calling for us to lose. Sorry about it.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot. Radio U.
This week, specifically, what didn't make money? This is the worst box office weekend of the entire year here in 2023.
That's no good.
Yeah, upsetting, I guess. Maybe that's why Hollywood finally decided to reach an agreement with the writers. The number one movie, you wouldn't guess this. You probably forgot this movie even came out 3 weeks ago. Number one movie in America is The Nun 2.
You know, if it's a scary movie at the top,
Yeah.
it's not a good weekend.
It's not even October yet.
Yeah.
The Nun 2, listen to this. How much money would be good for a movie to be number one in the box office? The Nun 2 was number one with $8.4 million.
That is so low.
That was the top movie of the weekend.
That is so low.
That's really bad in its third week. But you might remember, we talked about this on Friday. We did the weekend watch list, and the top new release was The Expendables 4, or as I see it here, Expendables. It came in second place. You know, if it made less than $8.4 million, it's bad. Even if it made $8.3 million, which is what it made.
Oh, boy. That's terrible.
Tough. That is tough. And there's no way, I don't know what kind of budget they had for that movie, but there's no way they're making it back.
No, not a shot.
That's tough. Tough look for The Expendables 4. Number 3 was Haunting in Venice, the kind of spooky Agatha Christie murder mystery. In its second week on the box office at $6.3 million. Then The Equalizer 3, and then Barbie still in the top 5. Isaiah, we haven't been able to do this for a while. What was the last interesting thing you watched?
I haven't watched anything in a long time.
You haven't, huh?
I watched football all weekend. I was real busy this weekend, too.
We go 2 weeks without doing a weekend watch list, and you still don't have any, or a box office breakdown, you still don't have anything.
I've really only watched football for the past 2 weeks, probably. I don't know if I've watched anything else that I can think of off the top of my head.
Well, fortunately, one of us has watched something.
Let's hear it.
I watched, over the weekend, the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, Mutant Mayhem. It's on Paramount Plus now. And when I tell you that I think it's the best movie I've seen this year so far.
No.
I think it is.
It's that good?
It was that good. It was funny. The whole movie obviously revolving around Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and they really lean into like the fact that these are teenagers, which I don't know that the show, like previous instances of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles always does. But the teenagers actually, like, they sound like teenagers.
Interesting.
And, like, in voice and in the way they're written. I was actually very impressed. And it also speaks to that I don't know that there's a lot of other movies that have come out this calendar year that I've been so excited about. I liked it way more than I liked Barbie. I like this way more than Barbie.
96% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
So the people agree.
It did not make a whole heck of a lot of money. It only made, well, I mean, 116 million here. North America isn't bad, but it deserves better. It deserves better. It was a good movie. Recommended. Paul Rudd as Mondo Gecko. Very, very good.
Good character.
Anytime you get Paul Rudd in there, I'm going to be happy. That's if you watched anything good over the weekend or recently at all, let us know. Or something bad.
Find more Riot content online. Riot.radiou.com.
You know, Isaiah, I've got a beach vacation coming up later this week. Heading to Pensacola Beach.
Exciting.
You ever been there?
I don't know that I have. Maybe I have.
It's near what is it, Destin, Florida?
I've been there, yep.
Yeah, so, I mean, they're pretty much the same. You think there's jellyfish there?
Yeah, it's the ocean.
It's the ocean, right? There could be jellyfish.
You could run into a jelly.
I'm glad I saw this before I go away on this beach vacation, that if you ever get stung by a jellyfish, what are you supposed to do?
You pee on it.
That's what everybody assumes, right?
Yeah.
According to some new research here from scientists, that's not what you're supposed to do at all. Shockingly, there's something better to do than urinate on your own leg if you get stung by a jellyfish. I know it's hard to believe, but this is actually something that has kind of been debated for a long time. And supposedly, what you're actually supposed to do is put like vinegar on it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible.
But
that sounds like the worst case scenario.
Putting vinegar on a sting.
Yeah.
But I guess they can say that's what you're supposed to do, but who's hanging out at the beach and just has vinegar handy? Unless you just ordered a big thing of boardwalk fries, you're going to dump that
True.
whole thing. But like, who just has vinegar on the beach? So what I want an actual solution here. They say seawater might work. Seawater might work as well, but I mean, you just came out of the seawater.
Yeah, what's the seawater doing for you? Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
They say the steps that they scientists recommend if you get stung by a jellyfish. Step 1, rinse with seawater or vinegar. 2, remove the tentacles. 3, seek medical attention. Better than peeing on it.
I think peeing on it's still the way to go. I'm not convinced.
Think so?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you do it yourself?
No, somebody has to pee on you.
Get somebody else to do it.
It can't be you.
Why not? Why not? Why wouldn't that work?
Think about this, right?
Why wouldn't that work?
It's like tickling your own foot. You just can't do it. You can't tickle yourself.
I think that's how it works.
You can't tickle yourself, and you sure as heck can't make a jellyfish sting go away by peeing on yourself.
By your own self.
It's going to have to be somebody else. You can't tickle yourself. That's how I think of it. The vinegar thing makes sense because you think about a bee sting. I have heard you're supposed to put apple cider vinegar on a bee sting.
People say you're supposed to have apple cider vinegar on anything, though.
Yeah, they do say that.
So
but
I don't know if I believe that either.
I've put apple cider vinegar on a bee sting.
Does it work?
Before. I don't remember. I was like 7. But I do know it hurt. I know it burned.
I just, I don't know. I feel like I just want to skip step 1 and just go straight to seeking medical attention.
See, if you're realistically at the beach, though, and you do get stung by a jellyfish, I know the doctors say it doesn't help, but you're for sure looking to your closest friend, and you're like, you're going to have to pee on me. Imagine that conversation at the beach.
Yeah. I think that you should probably have that conversation before you guys go.
Designate.
Instead of in the heat of the moment.
Designate a partner, maybe.
Yeah.
A friend.
All right, pair up, buddy system.
Because then somebody could get pee shy.
Yeah.
You know, in the moment, a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure there.
You don't want somebody getting stage fright.
Exactly.
Basically, in a moment like that.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
Now, possibly the biggest headline nationwide from the NFL yesterday had nothing to do with actual football. It had to do with Taylor Swift. She's been linked. There's been rumors that she's going out with Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce. And then look who decided to show up at the Chiefs game yesterday, sitting right next to Travis Kelce's mom in a luxury suite, Taylor Swift herself. And then, of course, so here's what I wanted to get at, is that Patrick Mahomes was asked after the game. He was asked by Aaron Andrews, do you realize how much pressure was on you from the Swifties to get Travis Kelce a touchdown?
Terrible reporting.
You don't think that's a good question? You think you could do better than
it's an awful question.
Television's Aaron Andrews?
100% a terrible question. That's an awful question.
What would you have asked?
I would have asked anything about the game. I think for Patrick Mahomes, number one, extremely inappropriate.
You think so?
Yes.
To put him as a...
You're never, as a reporter...
Put pressure on him as a wingman? As
a reporter, you're never supposed to talk about relationships in a press conference of a football game. Imagine if he went up to Andy Reid. If Aaron Andrews walked up to Andy Reid, the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, and said anything about Patrick Mahomes' wife. Extremely inappropriate for him to say anything. Any comment.
This is different. This is definitely different. Also, that'd be more interesting.
Any comment, extremely inappropriate.
Well,
so I think for Aaron Andrews to say anything about Taylor Swift, inappropriate. What's that have to do with the game? Nothing.
I think this is less inappropriate than if she went ahead and asked, like, anything. You know what was inappropriate yesterday? The Bears. The Bears were inappropriate.
Yeah, they were trash.
What was she supposed to ask? Something on the field? About something on the field?
That's your job.
That's boring. She's trying to make a Chiefs-Bears game interesting. A 41-point blowout. This is the best question she could have asked. And my next question to you is, do you ever think about, like, what if, we're kind of in a similar situation every morning where I'm Patrick Mahomes and you're Travis Kelce, and there could be like a woman out there you're trying to impersonate. She could be watching. You might not know. You might not realize she's listening in. And so I guess now I feel like I have a lot of pressure on myself.
This is ridiculous
to tee up touchdowns for you.
A literal ridiculous talk.
I think that I understand Patrick Mahomes and what he's going through today.
I feel like if I was Patrick Mahomes, I would be like, no comment. What a ridiculous question.
It's not a ridiculous question.
One thing about this too, like how many percentage of NFL football fans that were like, why are Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, are they linked? Are they together? Percentage of football fans that even knew that, probably low.
It's 100% after yesterday.
Well, now they do because Travis Kelce, yet again, a little bit of a clout chaser. Yeah, I'll be the one to say
he is. Who are you more disappointed by, Taylor Swift or Travis Kelce?
Both sides.
Aaron Andrews.
All three, terrible look. And you know who I feel bad for? Travis Kelce's mom. You think she knows Taylor Swift? And she's
Everybody knows Taylor Swift.
Listen, I know she knows who she is, But if she's forced to sit next to her for an entire football game, and it's one thing if it's like your actual girlfriend or something. Travis goes like, yeah, you're going to sit next to this random girl. You have no idea who she is. Obviously, she's Taylor Swift. You guys have never talked before, but sit next to her for 4 quarters and keep her entertained.
You're so negative about Taylor Swift.
I just think it was a wild side storyline.
I'm disappointed in her because I want something better for her. And I know Travis Kelce's not the one. So I'm embarrassed for her.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, Radio U.
Halloween is only a few weeks away now. We're basically 1 month away. Not too early to decorate, right?
No, not too early. I got some decorations up.
You do? What was your decoration? Your witch wiener dog? Your witch basset hound little...
I have a basset hound with a broom in his mouth and a witch hat on. I also have a pumpkin.
Oh, you got a pumpkin.
I have an Ohio State pumpkin.
Real or fake?
It is a real pumpkin.
Real. Painted or carved?
It's painted.
Painted.
I bought it from Kroger. It just has like the Ohio State Buckeyes emblem across it. It was like $4, so I was like automatic. And I did also pick up some fall scented candles.
Does
some
that count as
pumpkin scented candles. I got 3 of them, and they smell darn good.
Wow.
So it might not look very Halloween in my house, but boy, does it smell like
This is a great time of year for candles.
It is. It's a good time for some candles.
I have most of my, I'll say I have all of my outdoor Halloween decorations now up as well, but I'd like to add more. I'd like to get something else to add to the equation, but I'll tell you what I should not add, according to wildlife experts, something that a lot of people decorate with for Halloween: fake spider webs.
A clean look.
Wildlife experts and officials are speaking out and asking people this Halloween season to avoid using the fake spider webs in their Halloween decorating outdoors. And the reason why is because they're concerned that animals will get tangled up in the spider webs. Much like a real spider web would tangle up tiny little bugs, they feel that the big fake spider webs will tangle up. Let me see. What animals are they specifically concerned about?
Like a mouse?
Like they say hummingbirds.
Okay, birds makes more sense.
Owls, butterflies, bees, and other small airborne creatures.
You think I care about a bee?
Well, they're very integral to we got a bee shortage. That's a concern. They're very integral
to
the environment, to the pollination process. We want to keep all of our crops healthy. We need a lot of bees. So I think you should be concerned about that. Yes.
You think I care
I do.
about an insect?
Okay, fine. Owls don't concern you?
See, but I've never seen an owl, so I don't even know that creature is real.
You've heard them. Surely. You live down in the middle of nowhere.
But I also feel like
barn owls.
I feel like owls are pretty powerful. Pretty powerful bird.
You think they could just flap right through the fake spider webs?
Come on.
Hummingbirds?
I guess if they're flying, maybe are they thinking they're going to fly through your porch? Maybe.
Yeah.
And it's just going to take them down.
What about hummingbirds, though?
I don't know.
I'll tell you, I have 2 thoughts on this.
Another animal I've never really seen.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen hummingbirds.
I've never seen one on my front porch where I'm putting my spider webs.
Yeah. Don't put the spider web next to your hummingbird feeder.
Just don't put it like out in trees. Put it like on the front porch where birds don't usually fly through.
I have 2 thoughts. And one is, how often do you see a hummingbird or an owl trapped in a fake spider web for Halloween?
Never.
I don't think I've ever seen that. And I've seen plenty of fake spider webs. Now, if an owl was trapped in it, that would add to the spookiness, wouldn't it?
It would. Also, imagine the sight, too, if you had 1 million dead bees in there.
Yeah.
Way scarier.
That is scary.
Way
Very scary. However, if this is where I have my the soft part of my heart comes into play.
I don't want to hear it.
If I was to walk out of my front porch and see stuck in my fake spider web a hummingbird and it had died, then how could How could you live with yourself after that? How do you look yourself in the mirror after hearing this warning, a hummingbird dies in your hands, in your care, and then you're supposed to go on living? That's a tough one.
It wouldn't be the best sight.
Yeah.
You would have to discard of that. But and you know what? I think you can use the spider webs until you accidentally kill something.
Okay.
Then next year you can't bring them back out.
But then it's too little too late.
Then next year, you know what? Next year you can't bring them back out. You kill one hummingbird in 2024, no spider webs.
That's the breaks.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, Radio U.
The debate comes down to, as it so often does, a woman and her boyfriend. They've gotten into an argument. Who's right? Who's wrong? The woman turned to Reddit to plead her case after she moved in with her boyfriend. Her boyfriend has a dog named Maddie. And due to the boyfriend's working hours, the woman, the girlfriend in this situation, has kind of taken on the responsibility of walking Maddie, the dog, every morning. But the thing was, eventually, things were going on without a problem. But then one day, the boyfriend worked out that he was able to go on the walk with them. So they just did a 3-way morning walk. And the
bad idea spending time together like that.
That's right.
What are they thinking?
What? Nothing good can come of that. The boyfriend took note that the girlfriend, her routine was the dog would, do its business. Then she would pick up the dog's poop and go to put it in whichever stranger's trash can happened to be nearest by. And the boyfriend is like, oh, no, you can't do that. I insist that you're not taking the dog on the walk anymore. I'll just walk her before I go to work because you can't just I don't want to get into an argument with our neighbors because we threw the dog's poop into their trash can. So now it's a whole point of contention between the two of them. But her point is, why should I have to, a trash can is for trash. Why should I have to carry the dog's poop around for the whole entire rest of the walk? Who's right? Who's wrong? What's the verdict?
I think the girlfriend is fine to throw it away in her neighbor's trash. I don't think that's a big deal. I don't think a neighbor would be like, what the heck are you doing? Mm-hmm. Throwing trash in my trash can?
Yeah.
So for me personally, I don't think that it's that big of a deal.
Now, if I was to cross-examine you, even though you're not a witness, but if I was, first of all, I would say, but aren't you, isn't it true, Isaiah, that you have thrown dog poop into your own neighbor's yard, not even their trash can, first of all?
I have done that. I have, yes. But see, now my point is, I think that it's very nice of her to even pick it up at all.
That's true. She
could just leave it in your neighbor's yard. How do you like that? You don't want me to, I can't use your trash can to throw away the poop? Well, I'm sure as heck not carrying this poop around with me for the next 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. Because I'll just leave it in your yard. How you like me now?
But the second thing I would come to if I had to find holes in your case here.
Yes.
I would also say, who's actually going to complain about you throwing your dog's poop away in their trash can? Look no further than next door, where you will find plenty of people that will complain about exactly 100% only that.
Yeah, it's true.
I just, and I've seen those arguments play out, and I still struggle I struggle to picture in my mind how somebody could come up, like they can complain online, whatever, say to their friends, can you believe I saw our neighbor pick up their dog poop and throw it in my garbage can? I can, all of that. But for them, what are they going to do if they come out and confront you? What are they actually going to say to you?
See, I would say, as long as you're in a baggie.
Well, you're not barehanding it, are you?
I'm saying, like, if you happen to bring a pooper scooper along. But also, I know it would stink up the trash can. So there's also another point of contention for me.
Yeah, that's what the people, they're like, I try to keep my trash cans clean, which sounds like an oxymoron to me. I keep them in my garage. I don't want your dog's poop stinking up my garage.
How about this? I think it's also different if it's like down at the end of their driveway.
Yeah.
Like waiting to be picked up.
Well, yeah, you don't want to trespass to throw away.
I'm not walking up to your house where it's just like sitting there, but if you're at the end of the driveway, it's getting ready to go anyway in the next 24 hours.
There's a good chance you'll never even know if you already took it up to the curb.
That's not a big deal. If it's up by their house, you can't do that. You're not walking up the driveway.
No, I never do that. Here's the one that always gets me is what if it's after the trash has come? So it's left out at the curb empty.
If it's empty, you're
to be squashed by all the other trash that you've got coming.
You're not throwing the first article of trash in that trash can is not going to be your poop, your dog's poop.
That's where you draw the line.
That's wrong. Yes, that thing needs to be full, going out.
That's such an interesting distinction.
It is. It's different though.
I'm fully. I didn't think you would be so. Even though, given your past behavior, I guess I should have known. I didn't think you were going to be so fully on the side of just put it in anybody's trash can. But I'm even more on that side than you because I think even if it's empty, go ahead.
You can't do that.
Yes, you can.
That's messed up.
They should have brought their trash can in sooner.
That is messed up.
Shame on you for leaving your trash can. Now that poop's going to be in
there for a week. That's crazy.
It's a trash can. That's what it's meant for. What are you throwing in there? Roses?
I'm just saying, I wouldn't want to do that to somebody. That's messed up.
Add a little riot to your Instagram feed. Follow at RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
You feel like an adult? I'm asking.
Oh, you're asking me that question?
I know you are the age of adulthood, but
yes.
Do you feel like an adult?
I feel pretty adult, depending on the day, depending on the hour.
Depending on your activity that you're doing.
Yeah. Depending on where I am.
Because I have here
when I pay my electric bill, I feel awful adult.
Yeah, that's pretty adult.
When I pay my credit card bill, I feel awful adult.
I have here information that says that mentally you're not an adult.
Am I not smart enough to be an adult?
Well, that's obvious, but I mean, no, this is from Professor Peter Jones of Cambridge University. That's a pretty well-renowned school. He says that when you really move from childhood to adulthood, it's very gradual. It's not like, some would say it's when you turn 18, on that day, you become an adult. But as far as like your brain goes, your mental state, you don't become an adult till you approach your 30s. You have to be 30 years old. Do you think that's accurate? Do you think that there's a bunch of people running around in their 20s that really, truly aren't adults? They're forced to be by the way society works, but in truth, they don't have the mental capacity to be adults yet?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, there's always outliers.
Yeah.
In any group.
There's people that are well into their 30s and beyond that still don't seem adult.
And then there's people that are like 20 that seem like an adult.
Yeah. Like accountants and stuff.
Anybody who has like children.
Yeah. Not anybody.
Yeah, that's, you know what? Yet again, that is the truth. But it just depends. And depends on I think it all depends on your setting. Because, like, I have some friends have, like, multiple kids. And in some settings, I'm like, they're very adult. Their life couldn't be more different than mine. And then I was hanging out with them this weekend for the Iowa State game. And I was like, these guys are idiots. These guys are a couple of buffoons. How are they raising children?
But maybe once they hit their 30s, then poof.
The buffoonery's gone?
That's it. That's the end of the buffoonery.
I don't know.
And the kids don't have any bearing on that whatsoever.
I don't think so.
What about, this professor is saying basically like everything is set up, the education and health system and everything, the legal system all sets up so that whether you're 18 or maybe in some cases 21, because that's when like really everything is open to you. Certainly once you're 21, everything is set up to make people adults in their, if anything, early 20s, where maybe as far as like our behavior goes, we should be treated like minors until we get closer to 30.
No,
you think things would be better off?
No. I'm too old to be acting a fool. I don't need those kind of excuses.
Yeah, but maybe you don't need to be held accountable for your for your acting a fool as much.
Because I think the later that you push off, like, oh, he's just a kid. That's a bad idea. I don't like that idea whatsoever.
Maybe we just don't get enough time.
We should
the
know
way
better.
Society is. Maybe we don't get enough time to get all of our buffoonery out and still have it be semi-acceptable.
You had like 21 years of buffoonery. And you can still be but yet again, it's still settings. You can still be a buffoon, just not when important people are looking.
I don't know. I think things are reverting in a way, though. Like, like more people are living with their parents and,
But I still expect you to act like an adult if you're 25 years old. I don't care if you live with your mom and
less
dad.
and less.
That's not your big excuse of, well, I still live at home, so that's why I'm acting an idiot. That just means you're saving money. That means you're pretty smart, if you ask me. You are acting like
There's
an
nothing
adult.
childish about that.
No, nothing at all.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on Radio U.
It has to do with the Super Bowl halftime show.
Oh, boy.
This year, presented by Apple Music. And the artist that will be headlining the Super Bowl halftime show in Las Vegas on February 11th will be Usher.
Usher.
Yeah.
Is that a crickets?
Yeah.
Is that an air horn?
I think air horn sounds actually appropriate.
Little Usher action.
Yeah. I don't know if you know this, but Usher happens to have a new album coming out.
He doesn't.
If this is accurate, he's going to be releasing a new album the very same day he performs at the Super Bowl halftime show.
Usher's 44. So is he going to... Now, let me ask you
I would
this,
have thought he would be older, actually. He's been around for a long time.
So Usher...
He got started real young.
For the halftime performance, he has an album releasing that same day.
Uh-huh.
Do you think he plays a single song from that album? No way, right?
I don't know if it... Maybe, but only if he releases a single that gains some traction ahead of time.
Because there's no way you can just debut a new song at the Super Bowl halftime show.
Yeah. No, he's got to play the hits from...
He's got to play,
2004. Yeah. Confessions. Apparently,
My Boo.
Confessions will be heavily featured.
I mean, that makes sense. It was like his best album.
It sounds like Kim Kardashian might be on hand. There might be some skits at halftime.
Wait a minute. I don't want skits.
Yeah, I think there's going to be skits.
I don't want skits.
That's what I saw. I think there's going to be skits.
I don't want to. I just want to hear Usher's beautiful voice.
So
I don't want to hear skits.
Compare Usher versus the other rumors. I have three that were prominent rumors. One was Taylor Swift. She said no. 2 was Harry Styles. I believe he also said no. 3 was a boy band revival with NSYNC and Backstreet Boys and probably 98 Degrees and stuff like that. Where does Usher rank if those are the 4 choices?
He's got to be top. I think top 2 probably.
Behind T Swift.
No, T Swift's out. Unfortunately, I feel like I've gotten so much T Swift overload.
Yeah,
and everybody saw our concert. If you wanted to see Taylor Swift, you saw it. And so what's she going to do with the halftime show that she didn't just do at the Eras Tour?
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
We've all heard a lot of her songs recently, so out. And then we have who?
Harry Styles.
Nah, it just doesn't do much for me.
Mm-mm.
I don't mind Harry Styles.
So you're saying that the top choice would have been NSYNC Revival.
Or
then Usher.
I think I would probably go, well, it depends on what boy bands we're bringing back.
Yeah.
But I'd put them at 1A, 1B.
Uh-huh.
I just know that Usher has a beautiful voice.
Yeah.
Like he's going to put on a good performance for the sole fact that he's a good singer.
Yeah. It's just, he feels
the boy band would just be entertaining.
It just feels so irrelevant at this point. And maybe that'll change. Maybe Usher's got a banger of an album on the way. And there's going to be some good singles and he's going to re-emerge into our consciousness. But I haven't thought about Usher, and I looked it up. He's put out a few songs in recent years that have done okay. But I haven't thought about Usher in a long time.
I think about him all the time.
Do you?
I love Usher.
You're listening to OMG all the time or something?
Every weekend.
Yeah, every weekend.
I hear every single one.
And it's still It still hits pretty
It
hard.
still holds true, man.
15 years later.
He's gonna put together a good halftime performance.
It will be a party, won't it?
Yeah.
Maybe he can also
maybe he'll
get
freelance. He's gonna freelance.
Maybe
He'll do some songs maybe that are on his own.
I think you can get like LMFAO to come on too.
Oh my gosh.
It'd be timely appropriate, I think.
Usher get anybody he wants to get on, probably.
He definitely could.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot. Radio U.
You ever get like a check from your grandma in the mail? Like who else would send a check to you in the mail at this point?
I have gotten a check from my grandmother recently. For my birthday.
Do you ever think about like what if somebody knew that there was money in the check in the mail and they tried to steal it from you?
Don't people do that? It's like stealing mail is illegal.
Yeah, it is illegal. And it always crosses my mind though especially if it's cash, you get cash in the mail. It feels like that's such a roll of the dice to send money in the mail because it can be so easily lost, stolen, whatever. And then you see a story like this and you realize that it's even more possible than you even realize, because I have here a now former Postal Service worker who's been charged with stealing checks from the mail, which netted him nearly $1.7 million he was able to nab from just taking checks from people's mail.
And they say being a postman doesn't pay.
It doesn't pay.
It pays.
Sounds like it did for this guy for a while. His he did this $1.7 million, and you think, well, how long of a period of time? It probably took a while to get that right. It only took 18 months.
Holy moly.
It wasn't like this was a career thing. Like finally, after 40 years of serving, they realized that every once in a while he'd nab a check. To get $1.7 million of checks in 18 months, he had to be stealing every single check that came through.
Dude, that dude did not care about his paychecks either. That's what's wild. He did not care about his job whatsoever.
Yeah, because this is pretty brazen.
He only wanted the money that he was delivering.
Says the guy's name is Hachikosila Muchimba. He was 43. He is 43 years old. He's been charged with mail theft and bank fraud. It says that he wasn't even like secretive about it. He's accused of depositing checks from the mail into his own bank account.
Idiot.
From October 2021 until March of 2023.
He thought nobody would notice that he just went up 1.7 bills by himself.
And that
for no reason.
And that every single check that came through his route, his office, whatever, happened to be disappearing. It says that the scheme was he would remove the payees' names from the check, then put in his own name. And I guess this was in Washington, D.C., so many of the checks were U.S. Treasury checks. So he was spotted on bank surveillance cameras, taking the money out of ATM machines. This guy is the worst criminal. It's surprising that it took this long. He was able to get away with this for 18 months.
I need to see a photo of old Machimba. Because this is wild.
It is actually surprising that, like, if he might have stopped before he hit $1 million, he might not have been caught.
You got to think he just needs to do just one check.
Every once in a while.
Like once a year, do a check. Maybe around Christmas time. Oh, I got his photo.
Yeah. Does he look like somebody who would...
He actually looks well put together in the picture on LinkedIn that he has as his profile picture.
Probably because he has $1.7 million in the bank. Probably takes care of himself with that. But
yeah,
I guess...
facing a maximum penalty of 30 years in prison.
Is 30 years worth it for the 18 months of fine living that he was able to do?
I wonder if he even spent the money, or if he was just saving it.
I mean, it sounds like he was getting it at ATM, so it seems
True.
like it. Seems like it. He had something he was working on. Wow. Yeah, he is not a very wise criminal. You know, like I can't even give him credit for some criminals. I give him credit for trying because they seem like they had a good scheme in mind. This guy was not. He wasn't clever at all.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself. You're
listening to The Riot on Radio U.
I got a random question for you. You send emojis, right? First of all. When you send emojis, do you change the skin tone of the emojis ever?
You mean like from the yellow?
Yeah. I mean, some of them, like kind of the standard faces, like the one with the sunglasses, for example, that only comes in yellow, right?
I'm not sure.
I think it does.
Let me look.
But then there's like the top one I'm thinking of is the thumbs up. Do you change? I know you're not supposed to use thumbs up. If you send a thumbs up, do you change the skin tone of the thumbs up?
No, mine are all set as, I don't have the yellow on. Mine are all set as the white hands.
Oh. So you did change it at some point.
Yeah, I flipped it from the yellow.
Why'd you think you did that?
Because I'm white.
Yeah.
So therefore, I feel like it would be a representation of my hand.
So who's the yellow one for then?
I think that's the traditional like emoji color.
Yeah.
So you could use that one if you wanted to. I could use that one.
Almost the universal.
Yeah, I could use that if I wanted to.
I just think some people are like you. I guess you like, is it some kind of setting you just go in and you just manually like say from
Flip
now on, all emojis I send should be this skin tone?
Yeah, the ones like you can, I think it's when it first moved, like when they first switched it all, and they gave us all the different skin tones, I think you could do an all set for all of them.
That makes more sense because otherwise you'd have to like long
go
press
through
on it.
every single one.
Yeah, every time you wanted to send one, you have to long press it, whatever, which that doesn't sound like it's saving a lot of time.
No, not at all.
But I see some people that send, particularly with the thumbs up. Now, granted, I guess these many times are older people, but they'll send different skin tone emojis for like the thumbs up, and it'll be different every time. And then I'm like,
how's that even possible?
Is that a joke? Or they're long pressing? I guess they're long pressing the thumbs up emoji and then choosing
whatever one they want to send,
intentionally or not intentionally. Is it offensive to send an emoji of a skin tone that's not yours? Are we even allowed to say?
So now this morning we're playing Is It Racist? Is that what we're playing right now?
Yeah, we are.
Is it racist? I don't know if it's offensive, depending on the... I mean, it can be. You for sure could make it offensive. There's definitely a way. There's a very easy way.
But on its face, is it
It's
offensive?
not wrong, no.
If I was to send a skin tone that clearly wasn't mine.
No, that's not offensive.
What if, you ever think about this? What if you're white, the skin tone you said is tanner than your actual skin tone?
Well, there's 4. That looks like we've got yellow, the original emoji color.
Yeah.
And then we've got 5 settings after that of skin tones. We've got white, a little bit more tan than white. And then we've got a little bit more tan than a little more tan. And then what looks to be 5 different settings, I guess, of tanness.
Mm-hmm.
I probably could pass for 2 of them.
I guess
the whitest one and the next whitest one.
I've just observed people changing the skin tone emojis. I don't know why it caught my eye recently. And I thought to myself, I don't know why it's worth all the trouble. I don't know why. I just always thought yellow was enough for me. Maybe I don't use as many emojis as other people, but I don't think the emojis need to so clearly, accurately represent me at that very current time. I think yellow does enough. It's so universal to me.
Yeah, but I think too, for Apple, they want to come out with new emojis all the time, so this was another way for them to do that.
Wouldn't it be? Don't you think they could think about all the money they could save if they just cut the emoji department and stop doing it?
No emojis?
Yeah.
No, emojis
No,
are
I don't mean like keep the ones that we have, but I think what if we just cut? Like they don't need to keep coming out with them.
Because then they wouldn't be able to update our phones every like 3 months.
They could update with stuff that's more helpful. We've talked about this recently, right?
It's easier to just do emojis, man.
Than batteries and stuff like that.
Way easier to just do emojis.
I don't know. I'm thinking too much about this. The idea of me realizing that everybody else seems to be thinking about it too much is now making me think about it too much.
I think you use whatever one you want to use.
Yeah.
Use whatever one you want, buddy. And then I'll screenshot it, and I'll send it to everybody when you do.
Let's show how racist I am.
Exactly.
You just heard the worst of the worst. We'd give you the best of the best, but we'd have to find that. As soon as we do, you'll be the first to know.